Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of Suzerain with me, Dave Pompous, and Terra. It's been 2 weeks since we won the election. I guess it's time to maybe sort our cabinet out or something. I don't know. What do you reckon?
What? Well, first of all, we need to change the color of those curtains, because brown. Oh, hell the shit. But other than that, yeah, probably set up a cabinet board, whatever it's called.
But perhaps. Let's
So
see.
we can't forget about Peter, since he was our running mate and that.
That's true. We can make him, chief of staff or something.
Maybe it's automatically the VP.
Maybe.
Oh, we'll see.
Well, it's now time to be sworn in as the president of Swordland. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name. Anton Rain. Okie dokie. The die was cast. Okay, that's the only option it's given us, so the die has been cast. It is time to cross the Rubicon, as that's what Caesar said. Yeah. And this is where our story begins, Terra. In the distance, the Maroon Palace stood on top of the famous Hill of Pride. I had no way of knowing what future awaited me there. I looked at my family, my son and daughter, Frank and Deanna. When next to Monica, my wife, her eyes were glimmering with pride. And I turned towards the key people who made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in my cabinet. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation suddenly dawned on me. We're going to have to run a country. Also, Hawker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was waiting for me. Okay? Would you like to be also?
For the old has come.
You're gonna make him sound.
Well, it kind of looks like the Emperor with the beard.
You do not know the power of the office.
I am ready. Shall we go with just number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. I do solemnly swear.
I will respectively execute the office of the President of Swordland.
And to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend.
The people and the Constitution of the Republic of Swordland.
Okay, so we are still a republic. You may now deliver. Oh, that's your line. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you ruined everything.
I did.
Immersion gone.
It's all right. We'll just cut. We'll fix it in post.
Okay.
You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President.
What do we want to do? It's an honor.
It is. It is definitely an honor.
We said
Okay.
brothers and sisters before, didn't we?
Yeah, but we gotta take into consideration that we're also a republic now. So I was. Swords kind of feels to me that we're singling out the natives and not including the refugees and immigrants.
Yeah.
So I would say there's.
But are you a citizen if you're a refugee? Not necessarily. I would say just brothers and sisters. It incorporates everything, and we've said brothers and sisters before.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, okay, let's stick with that for now.
Yeah, okay. The crowd looked very eager to listen. Okay.
Okay, so how are they gonna piece all these very short sentences together? Okay, that's gonna be interesting. I mean, we have no idea what comes after this, so...
We don't, but I mean... Well, I mean,
Um,
piecing together by what we know that there is certain fractures, from the previous coups and
the immigration situation.
immigration situation.
And we are recovering from a recession.
Yeah, so, it may be time to pull together.
So I'm thinking, but hang on. I'm thinking that maybe these three options here correspond to law, economics, and what's the third one we could study?
History?
History, right.
But
So
the situation isn't dire. We're on the lower side of the middle with regards to the economy. So it's not a necessarily dire situation. But if we change and offer hope to people...
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 4 out of 10 on economy.
So lower side of middle. It's not dire. It's dire when it's 1 or 2, in my opinion.
But then again, wealth 1, what does that mean?
I guess that's personal wealth. So it's not even the country's wealth.
Okay, so that's probably where the corruption things come in.
I guess.
Okay. Okay, so let's go through what we have. Idea of unity is probably what you said, to maybe ease the tension within the country borders.
But it could also mean... Yeah.
But then again, it could also be us against them kind of thing.
Exactly.
So I would probably say change and hope.
Yeah, I was going to go for that too.
Because that kind of sounds more catch-all kind of thing.
Yeah. You, the people, have chosen together that we will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. It is a time of hope. It is a time of change.
It kind of sounds like an intro to Star Wars.
It does. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Okay. If we stand together, we will prevail. The issues that plague us are our capabilities. Let's talk about our capabilities rather than our weaknesses, shall we?
Yeah, let's focus on the good things we have.
Yes. Our workers are no less productive than a decade ago. Our capable minds are no less inventive. Our products and services no less requested than they were last week, last month, or even last year. Okay.
That didn't, to me, that didn't sound very, yay, go us, kind of thing. That's just like, okay, well, at least we haven't gotten worse.
I promise you, we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. The future awaits us. Swordland is above all the world. First, we must rewrite our broken constitution. What do we want to do?
Well, I do remember in the lead up to this that the vote system was considered to be broken.
Yeah, I think it did hint at that.
So the constitution needs to be rewritten, but right now I think we should stop the recession and eliminate poverty, because if people can't spend money, we can't make money.
That's true. And also changing the constitution just depending on who's in power really is a recipe for disaster, I think. You can't be changing the constitution every 4 years.
And especially not in our first term. We haven't even proven that we're a capable leader.
That's true. That's a very nice way of looking at things. Shall we try and eliminate poverty?
Yes.
I don't think you can eradicate poverty entirely. I think there's always going to be certain aspects,
but we can give it a try.
We can give it a go. I promise you, we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. It is time for a united and powerful Swordland once again. Change now, not in the next decade or years. Today, our capacity as a nation has never been greater.
I like number 2. That actually sounds like, okay, it's time to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
I like the wording of that one.
Alright.
Change now. Not in the next decade or years. Today.
Hundreds of thousands cheered. They were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and the burden, all at the same time. Raise a fist, wave, enjoy the moment.
We wave. Because raising fist, that kind of feels fascist in a way.
A little bit.
And enjoying the moment kind of... that feels a little bit too Trumpy, to be fair. It does feel a bit narcissistic.
But sometimes it can be a little bit narcissistic, but sometimes...
Yeah, but waving kind of indicates that thank you for your
a little
support.
bit. But enjoying the moment can also just mean, like, I'm just standing there and I'm, like, taking it all in.
Yeah, but if I want to enjoy the moment, I would do that in private instead.
Okay, yeah, we'll wave.
Yeah, because that really shows that kind of thank you all trusted citizens for your support.
Yeah. So there we have it. They're cheering us.
Even loud.
I took a long look at the people of Swordland to burn this moment into my memory. One of the presidential guards came by to notify that it is time to leave. I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Cadillac with flags of Swordland above the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. Sergei Volkner. Hello, Mr. President. You want to do the driver's voice as well?
Actually, I think you did pretty good.
Really? Hello, Mr. President.
As long as you keep it consistent.
Okay. Still under the effect of the speech I made, hearing my new title made me smile. If you allow me to introduce myself, I am Sergei, your new driver. It's a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Either one. If you speak to him by name, I feel that's usually more respectful. Because it's a pleasure and kind of wave it off.
Yeah.
At ease, Surge. Sorry, it kind of feels more militaristic, but nice to meet you, Surge. It kind of brings a personal connection.
This is where I'm going to say the old. What's the movie? Oh shit! I'm ruining my own joke.
You have 5 seconds.
I have 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2.
Beverly Hills
No.
Cop. Where it's like, Surge, you make me sound like a detergent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sergei Volkner. Yes.
I would say nice to meet you, Sergey.
There we go. It's an honor. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing inside. I entered the car. We will be heading towards the palace. The motorcade began to move. On the way, Sergei proceeded to explain his duties as a driver. As minutes passed by...
I drive the car.
Well, I mean, like... and, you know, I'm sure he's probably got defense training, getaway training. You know, he could be an ex-member of the military.
Yeah, it would kind of make sense being a presidential driver.
Yeah. Barely paying attention to what he was saying. Oh, okay. He suddenly made the gesture towards the now closer palace. Okay. Isn't it a beauty? The maroon palace? He was right. Sunlight glinted off the palace's many maroon-coloured domes. It was so bright that I had to look away. Every time I look at it, I am reminded of my duty to the nation. It's in good hands now. So do I. We all owe a great debt to the men who led the country from here. It's just a building. What do we reckon?
I would probably say number 2. Since it is a presidential palace.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that too. Well said, Mr. President. The car drove past the majestic gates, continued uphill to the entrance, and stopped in front of the doors. Now, this is a thing. I mean, like, we are a republic, and the old maroon palace was obviously where the old royals used to live. I feel like it's slightly the wrong move to make, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean?
Well, like, I know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think like a republic needs, not for the prime minister or the president to live in a palace. You know what I mean? Yeah, fair enough. Put him in a nice house and stuff, but don't let him have the old palace where the royals used to be. That's just.
Well, considering, as far as I understand it, it is one of the lost for words. I guess you could say one of the idols for the country itself.
It is. So just.
And it helps you connect to the past, but in some way it is still just a building.
Yes, I think a better way for.
I mean, if everyone who's ever run the country before us has had our office in here, why shouldn't we?
Well,
just because we changed way of running things.
Well, then build. I would say, have the president in a new estate, and have the people have that connection to the palace. Turn it into a museum. It's like it's like if we in Britain decided to get rid of the monarchy, you wouldn't have the prime minister deciding to say, I'm going to move into Buckingham Palace. You turn it into a museum.
I'm just thinking about all the other countries around the real world. How many ruling bodies actually do have their seat in some sort of historic building with connection to ruling families or parties or whatever it may be.
Well, it's like Versailles, right? The kings of France used to live there. It's now a museum.
Yeah, that's one of hundreds, tens of thousands.
Hundreds. A good handful.
Different buildings that still perform the same duty as a locale for the ruling bodies. So I don't see anything wrong with this.
Okay.
In that aspect, as long as people don't, in their heart, connect. Oh, this building. Oh yeah, that's where the what's his name again? Saul. Where he started to destroy the country.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's up to us to, in that case, help make the connection. Oh, in the Maroon Palace. Oh yeah, that's where Anton Rain helped our country out of recession.
True.
So it is kind of a double-edged sword in a way.
Well said. I think that's very well said.
It is a historical building.
It is.
So it should be respected in that. In
that context. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can agree with that. Sergei got out of the car and opened the door for me. Have a great day. What's that? Mogna Vescore.
A good morning, maybe? It sounds Latin.
It does. Maybe it means like good luck. Something like that.
Morgna sounds like Swedish morgon, which means morning.
Okay.
So, but the rest of it I have no idea.
It's a Swordish phrase from the times of revolution. Mogna Vescore Vectern Sistar, which means morning will come, victory is close. Okay.
I must say, I do really like these kinds of small little things in game,
Yeah,
especially since I don't know if this is actually from a real language, but
yeah,
it kind of has the feel of a
does.
real saying.
Yeah, it does. Morning will come. Okay, maybe the drivers want to look out for.
Maybe. I would say, yeah, Beckton's is since he started the saying, we finish it.
I made my way upstairs through the extravagant corridors of the palace. Marble and engraved wooden finishes decorated the interior. My footsteps echoed in the colossal halls. The guards bowed their heads in respect as I opened the massive doors to my new office. Right. So,
Nah.
let's have a look at the map. So, this is Swordland, the yellow, I believe. How to switch the view a bit so we're not looking at it at a slant, but okay. And we have Gruny, Lorraine.
What's the sigil down at the bottom?
That's one of the big countries. That's one of the big Soviet or capitalist blocks.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
another country. So yeah, so we've got Grunley, Lorraine, Gelsland, and Bergia.
Bergia. And Nargis something just north of that.
Yeah, Nargis.
Hmm.
Ag, yeah, okay, Agneland, okay, and Rumberg,
Agnolia.
yeah,
Wow, there's a lot of big
yeah,
countries surrounding us. 1, 2, 3 up top. One below. No, it's 2 below. There's one even further.
Oh, this might be the big. This might be our country. These might be regional capitals. So these might be regions. Rather, this might be our country. So we might have this, that. But yeah, so this is Welland. So we were stationed over here on the border to where I was wondering where Welland was.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, these are regions. Okay. So right.
Okay.
So these aren't countries at all. These are just regions. Right. Okay. That shores that one up.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got Welland. Okay. Where did we say we're from Dyer, aren't we? We are. We're a poor boy from Dyer.
I recognize the name Lackhaven just.
That's where we went to college.
Guild Sword Undercut, Sauna Rebel. Yeah, none of the other names ring a bell.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, we've got Lesbia to the south, Welland where we were stationed on the border, Rumberg and Agnolia to the north, and then across the sea, Valgasland. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be fun. But we have an exclamation mark.
Yeah, but we have a book on the Blackhaven.
Yeah. I guess we'll check the news first.
Yep.
6 unread newspapers. Oh. The Hal Sword Post. Rain spoke of change and hope. President Anton Rain has been sworn in. Yada yada yada. In his inauguration. Yeah. Okay. So we were there. Okay. First day in
Yeah, we were.
yeah. Swordland today.
Anton Ray managed to get 37%. Congratulations came from Kesaro Kibner of the National Front Party.
Right.
Warsaw, Hawker, there's P, PFJP, this is a Direborn President. Yeah, okay, Direborn President, okay.
Yeah.
Humble Roots is now sitting in the Rural Palace.
Okay.
So Kesaru Kibner of the National Front Party was the first to congratulate us.
So this is the popular newspaper. This is the most sold in the country. And
Can you click on the link of National Front Party? Because that sounds like a...
that that looks like it's the Nazis.
Yeah, it does sound... yeah, Nationalist ultra-conservative political party. Yeah, we're not gonna work with you guys.
The second biggest opposition party in the Grand National Assembly. Yeah, okay. By a group of young nationalists, including Kabiner in the city of Yen. Okay. He's an ethnic nationalist.
With aggressive and threatening campaigns.
It's perceived as an extremist party. Okay, yeah, well, we figured that one out.
It later moderated its views on the leadership. Kibner took over leadership at 49, worked towards making the party more approachable for a larger audience. What does more approachable mean?
I guess softening some of its stances on a few things. Okay,
Yeah, so they're going from extremists to ultra hardcore.
Yeah.
That's one step down.
Yeah. So okay, so we've got to watch out for this Kibner guy.
Yeah, I think so.
The Lockhaven Times. So this is our regional paper where we used to go to university. The leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party could gain just over 20%.
Communist Party of Sordland and the Workers' Party of Ludia.
Okay, so the Nationalist Front has 1 in 10 people voting for it, and the Communist Party also has 1 in 10. Okay.
See, the new seat numbers have been finalized as follows: USP 130, FPJP 70, NFP 40, and Independence 10. Okay.
Right. Okay. Radical. Here we go. Another USP president. That's a headline. The voice of the unheard. Right. Okay. How many times will people fall for the same trap? We've seen this before with Colonel Sol, who supposedly saved this country and brought stability in times of chaos. His stability, however, meant a life of oppression. Any opposing voices were silenced and many were persecuted. Next was Alfonso, who was elected as a liberal reformer to bring change to the USP of Swordland. Seeing his unfortunate inability, his own cabinet resigned. As the third USP candidate becomes president, it is high time to realise that change won't come from their party. Okie dokie. And the economists restructure the infrastructure and end solonomics. After recent successful mega infrastructure projects from the United Contana and Valgsland world is warming up the idea of the source of growth and employment. Okay, so United, that's the communist one. Federalist Socialist Republic. Isn't that?
So it's actually a country.
So we've obviously been given some kind of infrastructure loan by these guys.
Yeah, the country is a one-party state governed by the Communist Party with Kyiv as its capital. It's led by Chairman Leon Maleniev.
Lovely. Okay.
So Contana, that was southwest, right?
I think I know this one is also joining in.
Yeah, but it's not Contana.
Maybe it's this one. No.
Okay, so it's off map.
I guess. I can't zoom out. So this is Valgsland, yeah.
Read the report from Palestine. Okay.
Congratulations from Chancellor Hegel. Congratulations on our great victory. Wished for cooperation. Yada yada yada. Okay. He signalled concessions from Vaxland in case of a promising trade deal. Okay. This may take some reading.
It does indeed.
Okay. So we've read the news, although there was two things: restructure the infrastructure, and end. Yeah. New era begins, and it holds many economic questions that need to be answered by President Rain. Our top economic analysts, with consultation from the National Business Council, have released a comprehensive report on the performance of the last 20 years. A certain section of the report stands out. The last 2 4-year plans, I thought they were 5-year plans, but okay, created a budget deficit. Okay, so we're in a budget deficit and a clear reduction of the industrial production output. This was specifically due to mismanagement and inefficient bureaucracy. The year-on-year growth budget balance and production index values indicate that the past 2 productive consecutive years has been when the privatization program of Alfonso began. Okay. Must take the advice of planned economy proponents around him with a pinch of salt, otherwise he could find himself with the same spot that the Colonel was in. Okay. So the paper, The Economist, is advising us not to take into account any...
Well, they did say a pinch of salt, not ignore.
Well, okay. Right.
Okay, so what have the other countries around us to say, since all of them seem to have some sort of indicator on them?
Magnolia. Okay.
Another congratulations. Okay.
Yeah.
Continue the trade partnership between our countries and equal partners, as well as earlier trade deals, which he believed gave sovereign unfair advantages.
Right.
Okay.
Freedom or peril? Wow.
That's kind of harsh. Okay. So we have good relations with them.
Yeah, so they are a parliamentary republic. So
yeah, and also merchant focus.
They're a socialist republic.
Mutual relations with a strong army. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And these guys, Romberg, I guess didn't have anything to say about our election at all. Fear God and honour the Queen. A conservative monarchy. Or constitutional.
Military overwhelming relations. Right. Bad. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, okay, so they are a monarchy, so they may... Okay, we need to be wary of those guys.
Yeah, we do.
What about Welland? Congratulations from President Smolak. Yeah.
Desire to normalize the diplomatic relation between the two countries. Okay, so I guess our diplomatic relations is not much there.
I guess not. Let's see what they're all about. So they're presidential republic.
So pretty much like us.
Yeah, people, justice, and unity. I think we can be friends.
Yep, they do sound to have pretty much same values as we do so far.
And what about Lesbia? Hopes for beneficial partnerships?
One is about the threats of encouraging a Malenivist influence of the America Tana from the east and the police community in our continent, Merkota. Okay.
So let's see what these guys are all about. These must be Parliamentary Republic. Okay. Fortune, strength, and liberty. Right.
On a world community security social year, even though culturally more social and politically more liberal, but recent government investors began to turn away from openness, promotes isolation and perfectionism. Let's get a member nation of ATO.
Right. Well.
Okay, so what goes on inside our borders then?
Well, shall we click on Lackhaven first and then acknowledge the... we've got a few up here as well.
Well, let's start up top and then work our way down to the capital.
Okay, so Lorraine. Low production in Agenland. Right. Calls attention to the alarmingly low levels of productivity growth in the region, where there is also high rates of food insecurity, malnutrition and rural poverty in inner parts of the region. Oh dear.
Can't have that.
We cannot have that. It's a classified document, that was. Lack of investment. The mayor of Arvery, Eric Neal, reports a lack of adequate infrastructure around Arvery, which seriously undermines the attractiveness of Arvery's investment climate. Foreign investors, particularly from Agnolia, are becoming hesitant to invest in the city. Meanwhile, according to the data published by the National Business Council, around 19% of the company's total expenditures in Agland is absorbed by logistical costs. Right. Okay. But I'm getting worried. You know why? Because I think, and maybe it's because of our last game that we were playing through, but I think Agenland is probably a perfect place for these guys to start an invasion. You know?
Since they are close to overwhelming military and bad relations.
Exactly, and
So
you know what you don't want to do? You don't want to invest in infrastructure if you think it's going to be invaded.
But we can't work on they're going to invade us.
I know.
We still have to look at the happiness of our people.
So we've got Lackhaven here. Port of Lackhaven loses importance. Right, okay. The latest marine traffic reports show that the port of Lackhaven is no longer at the busiest port of the Macopa continent, falling behind to the 3rd position. While this is a negative indicator of our administration, Lackhaven still has potential to shine again as a major trading centre. The port of Lackhaven is the largest port in Swordland and holds enormous importance for the economy, particularly as the main distribution centre linking the capital and inner parts of Swordland to the rest of the world. This major port city will hopefully keep supporting a possible economic upturn in the entire country if investment projects succeed. Right, okay. So we may suffer a tough choice between this region and supporting the port. But let's click on the exclamation mark. Oh god. Okay, we'll start from the top.
Yep.
The Mayor of Holsword reports that the rising population and fast urban expansion has resulted in high levels of congestion in the city. Okay. The logistics report underlines increased traffic and slow transportation routes as the biggest problems of the capital. The mayor also reported that the absence of a well-designed, large land-based logistics centre where all transporters come together is one of the greatest problems for domestic transporters, because Holsword is a big metropolis. Transporters are scattered all over Holsword, having establish such centres in 10 different districts. Right, okay.
That does definitely sound like a problem.
Yeah, but sometimes having all your eggs in one basket isn't great either. So he's calling for like a concentrated.
Yeah, but that means instead of having in 10 different districts, maybe bring it down to 4 districts.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to have one.
General Staff gathers. The General Staff convened right after the election to congratulate our victory. All branches of the Swordish Armed Forces were represented in the meeting that took place at Camp Strongarm. Nice. With massive security measures. The Chief of the Armed Forces, Mr. Kruger, made a public press statement highlighting the increasing chances of military confrontation with Eastern Makopa and requested support to strengthen the military. Eastern Makopa. Right. Where is Eastern Makopa?
I think Marcopa is the entire continent we're on.
I thought the continent we were on was something else. Alright. Briefing on the current political situation. Let's have a look. So this is our best friend.
Yes.
Peter. Do you want to do Peter?
Okay, so what would he do? How would it sound like? Okay.
So Peter arrived a couple of minutes early and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. Okay.
We did it, Anton! We won! Finally! All those years with our noses to the grindstone paid off!
Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of the past months had put a dampener on his usual rakish charm. But today he was looking and acting more like his old self. He loosened his tie and undid the top 2 buttons of his shirt. My goodness. Pull yourself together, man.
Enjoying the new secretary I picked out for you? Thought you appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eye.
He gestured to the slight paunch that protruded over his waistband. Oh dear.
But hey, back at university, do you ever imagine we would be sitting here in the Maroon Palace? We have to celebrate this great victory.
Let's celebrate then. I got my hands on something special for us. An Ellery Maroon 30-year-old Scotch. We will celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until this evening. This is not the time to celebrate. What do we reckon? What do we reckon we want to do? Shall we encourage Peter in his debaucherous ways and get drunk before the ball, or shall we save our drinking until then? It's no good to turn up to a party already half cut. Not when you're president.
Agreed. So I'm thinking either 2 or part of me actually wants to go 3, like we don't have time to party. But we did just win our first term as president, and it needs to be celebrated somehow.
Yeah.
But I do agree that breaking out the nice stuff right now, no. I'm gonna go with save it to the ball.
Yeah. The middle ground.
Yeah.
We will celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until the evening.
Looking forward to it. Evelyn hopes to congratulate you in person there. Who's Evelyn?
I don't know who Evelyn is. Maybe his wife? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the kids would love to see their Uncle Peter. Okay, so it's Monica's brother.
Ah.
I'm guessing.
I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know who Evelyn is.
But I mean, since you say to him that the kids would like to see their Uncle Peter, that means that Peter would be related to Monica somehow. So Evelyn,
I don't know. Well, shall we just go with 2?
Yeah. That is great to hear. It's crazy how fast those two have grown up. You're a good father. Didn't we name our children Diana and Frank?
Yeah. He and Evelyn had never been able to have. So yeah, it's his wife.
Okay.
Yeah, Evelyn is his wife. During our campaign, the opposition had floated the rumour that he'd fathered illegitimate children during his wilder years, but it had never been substantiated. Okay. He might have a couple of bastards running around.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like a. Oh, sorry. Like a big deal in general.
No, I guess not. Unless he's been able to hide them away. You never know.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
The door swung open and Lucian Galade, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp, bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room, wall to wall, he sat down, poured the glass of water, and opened his briefcase in a series of quick, graceful movements. Okay, this is a man I can respect. He wants to get down to business.
That's your voice.
Gentlemen. The tall case clock in the room struck 3 o'clock.
Damn, you're exactly on time.
Hello, Peter. Lucian turned towards me. He very slightly bowed his head. Glad to see you, Lucian. How about that? Let's welcome him.
Yeah, either one or two.
Yeah, I think he's going to be our straight-laced man, and Peter is more of a
laid back.
Yeah.
Whatever happens kind of guy.
Yeah. It's a privilege to be here, sir. Lucian spoke in a soft, clipped tones that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I watched for him to proceed. Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The majority of Swordish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the constitution, but they blame the system for their problems.
People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Circus are become more popular? Everyone's expecting us to bring the change the last government did not.
Friends Richter, leader of the reformists, believes that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of our powers to the Assembly. I will move into the details of their demands shortly. Right, okay. We have a choice here. Agree with the reformists. Our responsibility is to democratize democratize, yeah. Our broken system. Democratize, that's the word. We need to listen to the people if we want to serve the country. If we lose power, we won't be able to execute the changes that we need to make for the good of the country. Okay, so do we want to democratize the system but risk there being an over bureaucracy? You know, if we give power to the Congress or the Assembly, they could take make it a longer argument. I mean, I know we came across a hint of information that said over bureaucracy was causing things to stagnate.
Yeah, and I think we need to listen to the people.
Yeah.
I mean, a country is its people.
It is. It is, you're right. So we don't want to hand more power to the reformists. Is that what we're saying? We want to listen to the people.
I'd say we go number 2.
I was elected to lead, not to read. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we missed. I double clicked there, but you can say it if you like.
That's exactly what we campaign for. A true change that will move the country forward.
We will need many allies against the old guard in the government. Mr. Richter managed to persuade many members of the Assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. While the reformist wing inside our party is still a minority, they could have a tripartisan majority in the Assembly, especially if they unite under Franz Richter. So Franz Richter is he's a businessman and leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party. Okay?
That's a PFJP. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so he's a mega capitalist. He's a shareholder in a construction company, Taurus Holdings. Yeah.
Studied economics at Lancashire, just like us.
Just like us.
And worked for Watch of Human Rights.
Okay, so
So he went the other way.
he did.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, what do we think? The USP reformists weren't wrong to agree that we need change, but we should be in charge. Mr. Richter could be a potential ally in our goal to maintain the majority in the Assembly. Our party must fall in line with our position. We can't have a strong divide. Okay, if we went for number 2, there's a chance that we could get a major businessman to rebuild the country and rebuild infrastructure. However, if we turn to him and say, do you want to work with us, it could spin on a dime and he might say, this party is weak because they're already seeking advice from other parties.
Or you could also go, yeah, I'm willing to support you if you do something for me later on.
Exactly.
So I would say we go number 1. They aren't wrong to agree that we need change, but we should be in charge.
Yeah, I think that's probably the safest option, so we aren't beholden to anyone in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We can't let the PFJP leadership take the spotlight on this.
Okay, the PFJP, yeah, People's Freedom and Justice Party, okay. The Liberalists, right, okay.
The reformers' demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto powers, ensure that the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments.
We do need a proper balance of power.
Must listen to their demands, otherwise we are no different than the previous administrations. We need to show that we are different
Yeah.
from the one that went before us. But the question is, how do we do it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we clicked 1 before and said we need to be in charge, maybe 3. I won't allow them to influence me, but at the same time, I mean, a good balance of power between the Supreme Court and the Assembly. I mean, it's a fair demand, fair argument.
Okay, so the reformers want us to give more power to the assembly.
Yes.
Number 2 means that we will listen more to the PFJP that wants to limit the president's veto powers, ensure that the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. And number 3 is, fuck that, I do my own shit.
I mean, an independent Supreme Court makes sure that the law is followed, no matter what the political situation.
Yeah.
So, if we support the reformists and say, okay, we hear what you're saying, but we're going to be the ones to do it.
Yeah, but they also want to limit the presidential veto power. But then again, limit.
Limit it.
Not eliminate.
Sure, but
then again, the limit can be moved up and down quite far.
it can. Which way are you leaning, Terra? Which way are you leaning?
Well, I do agree with their argument that the Supreme Court should be independent.
Yes.
So on that point, I support number 1. But first of all, we don't know what other demands they have. And if we go with the PFJP, as we said, might be, yeah, sure, I'll support you. If you support me in something else further down the line, kind of thing. So basic.
I'm leaning on 1. I think 3 is fair. Is fairly authoritarian. We will shape the future.
That does sound like a beginning of police state.
Yeah, and listening to the demands. I mean, 1 and 2 are much of the same, but the thing is, we can. I don't know. Okay, maybe 2 might be the safer option. We can listen to their demands, otherwise we are no different than the previous administrations.
I mean, listening to them and acting upon them are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Number 1 would mean like, okay, yeah, sure, we're going along with them.
Yeah. I mean, we did say that, change today, change now. So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, for a country to work, everyone should have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the action will be based on somewhere between amongst all of them.
Yeah.
So I would probably go number 2 as well, actually.
Okay, that's the decision made. We're going for number 2.
I agree. We can't ignore the winds of change, after all.
The old guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hawker and his allied judges have a great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break.
The court also has the final say of constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we can't even change it.
We need a comprehensive bill. That seems fair. We must break the power of the Supreme Court. I'd rather not go against them. The risk is too. Just a comprehensive bill.
Yeah.
Done.
I agree. The old guard won't like this, though.
A comprehensive reform that would make the reformists happy would mean maintaining a balance between all branches of government, which means removing your absolute veto as well. The reformists demand that all loopholes in the Constitution are closed. Looks like we have many challenges ahead. We cannot allow obstructions to exist. Yeah, we have many challenges ahead.
Yeah. We can figure it out. The party still owns 130 of 250 seats in the assembly. We got the power.
However, to reform the constitution, we must receive a 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166, and a simple majority in the Supreme Court that equates to 6 votes. After we have settled on how to proceed, we will need to talk to our party figures. Our first goal must be to get 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light from the USP, we will reach out to other parties to see if they would like to back our draft. The last step is to convince the justices of the court. The entire process will take a long time, but we must start working with a reform committee to evaluate all possibilities for a future constitution as soon as possible. Okay. We will write a more democratic constitution with the reformists. The new constitution should give the presidential wide-ranging powers to lead Swordland in the future. We could work with the old guard to protect our existing. Okay.
I say number 1.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go with the reformists then. Okay.
That's what we've been preparing for internally. Don't forget that promise is what got us elected.
Exactly. The key thing here will be strengthening the power of the assembly, which we already lead with a majority. Peter nodded in agreement.
Yes. The divisions of power need to be rebalanced. Better, Swordland.
According to the initial draft we made with the reformists, there are 2 changes to the constitution that are not open for their discussion. He opens his dossier. First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. Second, the President's absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes.
Yeah, I mean, if the Supreme Court is to be totally independent, then they wouldn't have no voice.
But at the same time, isn't the Supreme Court there to protect the laws? And if your laws are protected in the Constitution, should it not have...
Yeah, but the Supreme Court upholds the laws that have been set by the ruling body. They don't set their own laws to follow.
Number 1 it is then, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, sir. We'll get it done straight away. We will form a reform committee together with all parties and start reaching out to all the stakeholders in the Assembly and the Court for a new constitution.
Later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want.
Lucian took notes. Another important point. We must be aware of the Lothar Group. The oligarchs convene under this organization to influence economic policies. Conrath led it for a long time before falling ill. The new leader is Mr. Walter Tusk. Okay, let's have a look at this Walter Tusk. Oh yeah, he does look like an oligarch, doesn't he?
A mafia.
Yeah. Oh, he owns the Economist newspaper. And a shareholder in the Sawdust Steel Company. Okay. According to Lackhaven Times, he's the 8th richest sword as of... Okay. He's an engineer by trade. Okay. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economic protections. Okay. The administration needs to be open to talk to businessmen. I won't be bought. I will enter a dialogue with them eventually. We need to be diplomatic. We won't let these privileged, greedy and snobby capitalists run the country. I think we still need to be diplomatic, but we're not going to take bribes, are we?
No,
Dialogue is important.
it is. So number 1 or 3.
Let's go for 3. Wise approach. It's good to understand, and if we can reach a middle ground. Yes, I agree. Lucian looked at Peter.
As far as I know, Marcelo Coronti has some strong ties to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us. But I'm sure he wants something in return.
Okay, we're going to have to try and remember some of these people. Mr. Conti.
Coronti.
Okay, he's a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, who is the son of a media proprietor, Conrad Coronti. Okay. He's an advertiser. Okay. And he owns a luxury hotel group. Right, okay.
Okay, so number 1 indicates that we use his Coronti to get to his network.
Yeah.
Number 2...
The group's influence is important. I mean, it is. I mean, if it's a network of business magnates, you can't run a country without having the business guys on sides, because they'll soon, especially if they own the hotels and newspapers and everything. I mean, Jesus.
Number 3, the group is dependent on our economic policies. It can't move a finger without us. So it's basically putting them under our thumb. Like, if you want something, you need to do this for us first. And that's basically going the corrupt path, it feels like.
Yeah.
And Tusk is heading the group. We should make sure he's on our side. That sounds a little bit shady.
Not necessarily. I mean, you want to work with someone, so I mean, there might be concessions somewhere along the line, but if we can work with,
I think the biggest difference between the options here is either we go for Miss Coronti in person, or we go for the group as a whole.
Yes.
Either we go for Mr. Coronti with his network, or we go for Tusk, who heads the group, or we go for the group as a whole. And the thing is, going for an individual person means that that person can be replaced later on.
Yeah.
But if we go for a group of companies,
Yeah.
so I would probably say number 2.
Okay, let's do it.
If we can get them to side with us, it all depends on what benefits we can offer and what the leader wants.
We need to tread carefully on all sides with all power players to survive our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. Okay. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state. And as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We do have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it is quite limited. Okay. Shall we reduce the military's budget? I guess.
I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind. I don't want to die in prison just like.
Yeah.
With the Rumburg threat on the horizon, we can't reduce our defense capability and anger our general staff. That's kind of true.
Mm-hmm.
The military has been nothing but a burden on our society. We should do something drastic, like cutting their funding.
Well, I think speaking to the military first, just say, look,
Yeah.
what's your capabilities like? What do you need? But the military, it's always going to say, we need more money.
Well, I think that kind of goes with every part of the of a working society, but
Yeah.
there always seems to want the bigger piece of the cake.
Shall we go with number 1?
Yeah.
It is sound to listen to them, but they have very biased and narrow opinions. Patriotism clouds their minds. General Kruger is a spectre of the past. Okay. He looks strangely similar to the guy who owns or is the leader of that group, just without the tash. Yeah. And he probably won't like us.
At least we're willing to talk before making decisions. So.
Defense Minister Josef Lancia is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger. A fact that obviously can change with our actions. Either way, I see a potential rift between the two since they are clearly of different minds. Jesus Christ!
Okay.
Okay.
If we act strong against the military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucian. We need to tread carefully here.
Yeah. Lucian looked at his watch. He needs to be on time with something. He's like the rabbit. Out of.
Gotta run, gotta go,
go. Well then, gentlemen, it's been precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for the day. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Oh, jeez. Talk to you soon, sir. I will keep in touch.
See you both on the next meeting.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Okay, so... Okay, let's make a decision. Country overview. Okay. Active policies. The BFP are banned. President may veto bills. Impeachable by the court. Ministers chosen from the assembly. Election threshold of 10%. Presidential decrees. Unlimited terms. Oh shit. Look at that.
Hey.
Immunity of justices. Fair enough. Honorary membership gives immunity. Right. Constitution amendments require assembly and Supreme Court. Okay. We've got a court backlog.
And that's just the law.
Yeah. Okay, the economy. Alphonsonomics. Yeah, okay. That's a bad thing. The military. The gendarmerie under defense. Okay, Swordish general staff, compulsory military service. Okay, welfare. Freedom in the curriculum. Voluntary vaccination program. Renan welfare principles. Okay. State security privileges. Okay, we've got organised crime, illegal immigration, and corruption. And we have an overburdened welfare system. Oh dear. Rumburg expansionism, lack of allies, influential OMEC member, and experienced diplomats. Right, okay. Interesting.
There's a lot to read through here.
There is. What have we got here? The journal. It may have froze. No? Okay, that's turn 1. Okay, so we know what happened in turn 1.
A lot of talking.
A lot of talking. Dyer has a thing pop up,
And we have 4 new.
and 4 new news things to read. Well, let's read this first, then we'll read the news, and then end the video. Homeless. Right. Okay. The region of Burgio is among the worst hit regions in Swordland, where homelessness has skyrocketed since the economic recession. The number of homeless in the city of Dyer is likely to have increased by 25% in the last year. The rise is particularly stark among the Bludish people, where homelessness increased by 72% in just 6 years. It is reported that homelessness among ethnic minorities has reached the highest level in more than a decade. The Bludish minority of the region now account for up to 47% of all homeless people there. Wow. Jesus, indeed. The news. Okay, Speaker Gloria Tory said that a committee which includes all 3 political parties in the Assembly has been formed, yada yada yada. The USP wants to appeal to the people of Swordland to help in maintaining stability and order in the state. That's what we said. The Lackhaven Times. Support in the Assembly grows for campaign finance bill, and the Swordish National League starts its session. Season. Oh, okay. And Swordish National League. Okay, so that's the football league.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say.
Okay. Interesting. You watch, there's going to be a football riot. Rumberg coming south? ? Our foreign policy analysts who are reviewing the recent aggressive military and diplomatic developments in Rumberg have come to the conclusion it is highly likely that Rumberg will keep trying to push further south, threatening the territories of Swordland, Welland, and possibly Agnolia. The annexation of Dome many decades ago was just the beginning. Rumberg seems on a quest to secure all strategic resources in East Makopa. Well, there's a lot to take in, isn't there, Terra?
Go up to Rumberg and see if we can see this dome. Oh, it's up there. Yeah, it's up north.
Yeah.
So they annexed that from either us or Agnolia. Most likely Agnolia, I think.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
What's the military situation for Agnolia?
Weak.
Okay. And Rumberg was overwhelming.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Welland, their military situation is also weak. So 3 weeks versus an overwhelming.
So Rumberg actually spends have borders all the way down there. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're a big ass country.
Okay.
Yeah. Fun.
Why do I feel that we're gonna get dragged into a border dispute that we can't?
I think that is something that happens along the way. But hey, man.
This is gonna be a very interesting game, I feel.
I think so too. We've got Peter is the vice president.
Well, we kind of expected that since he was our running mate.
Yeah, and we've got Lucian as the chief
I
strategist.
do believe Lucian Gallard.
Yes.
Yes.
Lilius Graf.
Yeah.
Simon Hall. Nia Morgna. Joseph Lancia.
Yeah.
And Kiera Waldo.
Yeah, she looks like she might be a handful.
David Whiskey. Gus Major. And Pascal Benevol.
Yeah. Factions. Let's have a look at the factions. Okay. The Old Guard, headed by this guy, who anointed us, Chief Justice.
Supreme Justice, yeah.
And then you got the Mafia dude, and then you've got this guy, who we might be able to form some kind of alliance with.
Yeah, so far he seems to be the more level-headed character.
Perhaps.
Since he is more of a economics, I believe, right?
Yeah.
No, oligarchs, powerful elite to control the majority of the wealth.
Mm.
But it's actually oligarchs who control most of the money.
Yeah, but this guy, I mean, he went to the same college that we did and the same thing. He just went down the humanist route. So we might be able to work with this Mr. Richter.
Yeah, since he also calls for democratic reforms, which we're kind of aiming for.
Yeah. The legislative. Okay. Lecky, leader of the independents. Should you have a leader of independents? I don't know. And the judiciary.
I mean, I guess even the independent parties needs to have someone to speak on their behalf.
I suppose. So we've got 5 Old Guard, 3 centrists, 3 reformists. Okay. So this guy might retire, and then we might end up with, the situation in the US where what's her name died, and then she needed to be replaced.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to have a Ginsburg moment in this game.
Notorious RBG.
Exactly. Hands off my ovaries.
Don't worry about it. I want my hands all over you in some of the places.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, I feel that as well. And this already this feels more engaging than 6 Ages. To be fair.
I think so. And there's going to be a lot of reading.
Oh yes.
So if you're still with us, people, thank you very much.
And also, people, keep in mind this might be a very slow game.
It quite possibly will be, but a fun one so far. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see where it will take us.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Well, until next time, people.
Take care. Stay safe. Wear a mask. We love you.
I think that's good enough sign off as anyway. Let's see if we can try and save it. Codex, journal, settings.
I believe it auto-saved, didn't it? No, save and exit.
Yeah, save and exit. Okay, so there we have it. See you on the next one, people.
Ta-ta!